Kia ora. I'm Susan Freeman-Green, Chief Executive of Engineering New Zealand. Welcome back to our next instalment of COVID-19 series, where we get advice from senior people in the engineering profession, from recruitment and from academia about what their advice is to our engineers of tomorrow. So today I'm calling Ben Lapworth of 84 Recruitment. Kia ora, Ben.
Kia ora, thanks for having me on.
Now, the first big question I have for you, Ben, is that 51% of those that responded to our survey are concerned about access to potential employers due to COVID-19. Here's a comment from one of the students about their worries. I don't feel it's appropriate to be proactive in emailing workplaces inquiring about job opportunities or following up on the status of my application due to COVID-19. What advice would you give to students, Ben, who are job hunting at the moment?
A great question, and good on you for conducting this research. I'm quite surprised in some way by the number of people that are concerned about following up and doing those sorts of things. You've got to be in it to win it, as they say. So certainly my advice for that last person with their comments is, if I could summarize it in one word, it would be the word hustle. If you want a job, if you want to keep yourself head and shoulders above the competition, you've got to be doing things differently. And that requires going about things in a totally different way. There is this certain type of theme in the market, which is being respectful, but you can be so respectful that you can never actually get the job that you're looking for. Think of it like dating. If you're being too respectful to ask the person out on a date, then you're never going to get a date. So what I would say, especially in these times, given COVID-19, you feel like you need to be more respectful in terms of not being proactive to get the job. But at the same token, you need a job. And therefore, because of this COVID-19, people are more helpful than they ever have before. Perhaps it's New Zealand's way that we've got this collective spirit that people are generally trying to help each other out. No one is going to bark you off the phone if you've called up or sent an email or something like that. And with this thought of me saying phone, I wouldn't just email follow-up. I would get on the phone and I would call up employers, especially one of those job opportunities that is screaming you that you're passionate about. It's the business for you, it's the role for you. You match the role descriptions as well. That's very important. If those things are there, then you need to call up when the time is right. I wouldn't do it straight after you've sent your application, but after a week, or if there's a certain period of time where applications have ended, then that is when I would suggest calling up a relevant hiring manager and introducing yourself and just saying, I'm a graduate engineer. I'm really keen on an opportunity with this business. Is now a good time to talk? And they'll either say yes or no. And if they say yes, then you've got a great opportunity, which is a off-the-wall type of interviewing scenario where you're getting to make an impression, you're getting to understand more about the business, you're getting to actually show that you're a human being, you have personality, and you can get that team fit aspect across to the hiring manager far more than an email or a CV or a cover letter ever will do. And there are some other ways of which you can do things, but that would be my one piece of advice. Get on the phone.
Thank you, Ben. That's a really helpful point. And I noticed what you said, that actually you're talking about being human, showing you're a human, not just an engineer, or you're a human engineer. And that's really important. But I've also heard you say that respect is not something that you need to worry about too much in whether you ring, but it's how you ring. So you made the point, is it a good time to talk now? It's really hard as an employer, speaking as an employer, if someone asks me that question, I feel really relieved because I can always say, look, I'd love to talk, but now isn't a good time. And I never feel someone's, if you like, being too pushy, which is what people are concerned about, if they give me an invitation to do it at another time. So I think what you're saying is be confident, be human, and you'll probably get more back than you think. So Ben, how much are you finding that an added reluctance at the moment to pick up the phone or to follow up with an email or a general inquiry? Are you seeing that greater at the moment?
I think it's the same as it ever has been with people following up on applications. I mean, I get it. It's when you're a graduate, especially, you have very rarely applied for a position, and it can be a very daunting process thinking that you may make a bad impression. But it's that fear that holds us back, like in many ways in society. If you can brush past the fear side and be brave and really believe that you are the person for this job. If you've sourced this role, you've seen the organisation, you've done your research, you know that is the path you want to take your career, and you believe in yourself. Absolutely, people should stand by that and have conviction over their application and put that call in, or especially follow up as an email at a very minimum.
That's so right, isn't it, Ben? And the other thing is, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that it goes nowhere. But the best that can happen is that you actually make a connection you mightn't have made. You draw yourself to someone's attention. And even if you don't get that job, you might get another one. And you've also practiced. So there is really no downside, is there, in making that follow-up call with respect.
It's so true. And that opportunity you have on the phone, if anybody searching for a job, before they need to do so, this is just a little bit of recruitment advice here, but think about what it is that you're offering, who you are, what your skills are. Of course, as graduates, you're not going to have experience, so a lot of people can be a bit nervous in terms of what they're selling, but understand yourself. Who are you? What are you passionate about? And if you bring that passion and that mindset on that call and you smile, very important on every call is to smile. It sorts your tone out. It's people buy from people, and when you hear that passion in someone's voice, you can't help but buy in from that. And that's, for anybody that calls me up I'm really interested in this job, it aligns with what I'm trying to do with my career. I've looked in the organization, you guys do this, this, and this, and I would like to do this because of this. You're like, great, well, yeah, what was your name again? We'll look out for you in the applications. It's a positive experience. If you are happy and engaging, it's the same for them on the other end of the line.
And I picked up another point in what you just said, Ben, is to also do your research about the organisation. So it's not only about going in with what you can offer generally, it's actually, this is why I'd be a really good fit for your organisation, because what you need is this, and this is how I can contribute to that. Absolutely.
And there is a word that I would put there that people need to think of, and it's the word congruent. You've got to be congruent with what you offer yourself and what the business is after as well. If it's a small business, you don't want to be going in there going, I want to be working on large projects. Similarly, on the other way, you don't want to be saying I want a broad role if you're applying for a larger organization. So it's just being mindful of what you are, what this business is all about before you make that application. And just touching on that as well, it's there are wider aspects in terms of what we can be doing when we get in contact with this business and that research phase. Do you know anybody in that organisation for a start that you can ask and get some inside information? Are there people that you can connect with on LinkedIn? Do you have a LinkedIn profile? If you don't, do one. Expand your network. Get to really get to know that organisation and what they're all about. Inside referrals are fantastic. And also, if people aren't doing this when you're sending through your CV, make sure you've got a decent cover letter that is showcasing who you are and your personality. And again, it's kind of emphasizing what you would be saying on that call. You don't need to talk about, well, I did this with my grades and this is the experience I had working at Burger King. Irrelevant, that's on your CV. cover letter is about you as a person conveying what your passion is and really talking to that person that is reviewing it.
Thank you so much. I think there's an awful lot of helpful advice in there for our students and graduates. Plenty to think about. So thank you very much for giving up your time today to help some of our engineers of tomorrow on their journey.
No, thank you very much, Susan. It's a topic that so many people want to understand and they want to know about, and of course I haven't got experience in doing it, so it's all daunting. So do keep an eye out through Engineering New Zealand. There's going to be future collaboration with 84 Recruitment in terms of tips and some advice, and wishing everybody out there who's looking for a job at the moment all the very best in your career searches.
And if you're watching this, be sure to check out other videos in the series as I speak to more people in the engineering profession and from the world of academia and recruitment about what they see as important if you are looking for a job and going to be one of our engineers of tomorrow. Thank you.